Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Micah Let's Play, and guess who I am? I'm Micah, because who else would I be? Guys, today I'm so excited. We are going to be actually doing a breakdown, yes, a breakdown after millions of years of waiting for Dragon Age, the Veilguard, no longer Dreadwolf. Yes, by the time you're seeing this, we've probably already seen the gameplay footage. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on. PlayStation, what was it, the PlayStation Showcase, Summerfest, the Xbox Showcase, in my opinion, which was the best Xbox for the win. So yeah, and then also at the time of this recording, the Ubisoft Forward is happening, and they're showing brand new footage of Assassin's Creed Shadow, which I'm really excited about, but you'll see another video. There'll be a few more videos coming out like this in the next several days. You'll get my honest thoughts and feelings on this. And with that said, you know, just so you guys know, I actually did do a breakdown of Thetis Calls. Remember that little footage we saw where we were seeing like the map and seeing the octopus, all that stuff in the Thetis trailer, Thetis Calls map trailer, if you will. Well, I did do it. Now, during that time, I was operating on a laptop. My laptop completely crashed. I lost half of the footage, half of the stuff I was editing, and I just got too busy to get back to it. And that's why there was nothing else other than just me reacting to the map. So people who were looking for that content, I am so sorry to leave y'all twisting in the wind. But yeah, that's what was going on. And I've been having issues with Elgato. It's been a roller coaster ride, but we have this. We're going to be talking about it. You're going to see more videos coming out looking like this where I'm doing like an analysis, and I'm really excited about it. And we're gonna be I've already seen this like a bazillion times, so it's not a reaction. It really is me doing more like an analysis, and personally, I'm really excited. I know some people were upset about the art style. I love the art style. I'm an artist. I love when artists unique and creative. Like when you look at the cover of this book, Tevinter Nights, which we will be using for some of the characters, the art style of Dragon Age has always had a more interesting flair. Now, in the previous games, the characters always had like a slightly hyper-realistic, and again, slightly hyper-realistic look. And to me, having them go in a more cartoonier or Pixar direction, for me, is perfectly fine. I love it. I already know who I'm very interested in romancing, and we'll explore that as we go into it. We will be referencing kind of like the short stories to kind of explain who some of the characters are, the octopus, and some theories that I've had in the past, but now that we're really going to explore. Honestly, I should have just wore a baseball cap today. My hair is not working with me because today is not a good hair day. Today is a bad hair day. My hair is all over the place, y'all. But anywho, with that said, let's go ahead and watch this and let's talk about it. So let's really look at this. Me personally, I love this. Like, the art looks so good. Hold on. I'm like recording my screen at the same time, and I'm trying to move a little thing out of the way. Don't worry, it's something I will fix in post, but still, let's start over. And this music, we're gonna talk about the music as well. You know what? Hold on. Trying to make sure it looks as good as I can make it look. Like, I'm so sorry, everybody. I know y'all want to kick my ass, you know, but we are gonna get to this. Okay. Sorry, guys. I was trying to make things look good. The music, and we're in Manrathis, or Tevinter, obviously. I love the new logo. Now, these enemies here, I have no idea who they are. But the fact that we see Varric, and let's talk about this. One, Varric is a dwarven daddy. Yeah, he looks good. He looks good. And in between, if you've never played Inquisition, or maybe you've only played Inquisition, like myself, and maybe you're just not that well versed in the universe of Dragon Age, it's been 10 years since the Trespasser DLC that took place where the Inquisitor loses their hand and you really learn what Solas's intentions are, the Dreadwolf. And yeah, and Bianca looks amazing. I love the fact that you see specs on it, like he looks through it. And we are going to be talking about what the characters are, and I'm really excited about this cast of companions. Like I said, let's just continue, because again, Daddy looking good. Look at that. And this right here, this is Scout Harding, and I want everyone to get a good look at how she enters the scene. This is gonna be a little tricky. When you first see her enter the scene right here, this is almost reminiscent to how she first appeared in Inquisition, where she shoots an arrow at somebody. Like, you get a glimpse of her, but then you see her shoot an arrow at somebody, and then you learn that this girl is Scout Harding. And one, she looks amazing. I'm loving this right here. And again, I don't think I have I think closed captioning is on, right? I don't know. I think it already has it on there. I'm not sure.
This'll take more.
Yeah, okay. So no. Also, the voice actress is the same from Inquisition. Same thing with Varric. And again, I'm always happy to see repeat performances from voice actors, because one, they don't get that much love and respect in the industry, and I think it's really nice to see these talented people come back and reprise their roles, giving you, even though they have a new design, giving you a sense of nostalgia because you recognize that voice. And I love the fact that they really put her freckles in very high relief, because in the original game she had freckles, but they were very light. But I like how she says this is going to take more than you and me. But right here, and I'm so sorry if you hear... Again, I live on a very busy street, so you hear a lot of noisy ass cars. And for some reason, we have a motorcycle group that likes to run through here, so again, sorry. But right here when she says, you're not looking good, my old friend. So this has me concerned for Varric, and I'll explain why, especially with the song, understanding Varric's role in all of this. And we'll also talk about the Dreadwolf trailer, the mural trailer we got. We're going to be touching on all of that. But anywho, Scout Harding says, oh, you're not looking too good, old friend. And I just want to point out here, it looks like her bow is it has like remnants of the Inquisition on it, because it looks like it's in the Inquisitor's eye, with tears coming out of it. And I really love that little nod to this is still remnants of the Inquisition, depending if you disbanded the Inquisition or you turned it into like an underground spy network or something like that, depending on how you ended your world status. So again, I love that. And then right here, let's go back to Varric, where he's leaning on the counter. Hold on, I'm so sorry. Again, Varric looking right here. You can see clearly right here on his belt, it is the Inquisition symbol with the sword and the eye, but it looks worn. Like, it looks like it's seen, like it's just like Varric. It's aged, but it just didn't age as gracefully as the man who's wearing it. But yeah, I love that nod to this is still your Inquisitors group, you know, because we first meet Varric in Dragon Age 2, and in Dragon Age 3 he has a bigger role, and it looks like this time he's not taking the same position as a field member. He seems more like he'll be playing like the role of Liliana, Josephine, and Cullen, more like, and Morgan. Well, Morgan could also go with you. More of an advisory role, and I think that personally, I really like that. I just love seeing this. And again, Scout Harding is a beast. And then I love this. This right here. Like, my God, this right here where it says Harding the Scout, and that's something I noticed. Everyone has a I wouldn't say an honorific, because, you know, honorific is like a title. Although she does have a title, she's the scout, like the Veilguard. That's something that I was noticing, that there's this little, like, adjective, so to speak. I don't think that's the right one either. But you have this, like, you know, title before you're revealed who this person is. So I think that's really interesting. I love this look. I love her hair. I love that she uses the tankard to hit the guy in the face. I just wish you would have let, you know, maybe him drink it first, and then, you know, because that's good. Girl, you wasting liquor. What you doing? I'm just kidding. No. And then also, just so you know, scouting. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm jumbling words. Scout Harding, yes, Lace Harding is romanceable. And now all of us, myself included, wanted to romance her. And if you played Inquisition, there were options to flirt with her. And the fact that we couldn't actually do anything with her was a little disappointing, personally speaking. The fact that I couldn't romance Vivienne was a big letdown. Because Vivienne was my first choice of romance option when I played Inquisition. But that was never going to be. So I chose Josephine and Iron Bull in the 2 playthroughs I did of Inquisition. So to know that we can do that with her this time, for me, I'm just so excited about it. And then what also makes me curious is that Sarah could also romance her. And if you don't romance Sarah, you actually learn about Sarah and Scout Harding kind of having a romance. I'll try to fix that in post. Big loud ass motorcycles. I wondered, so her and Sarah never became a thing because Sarah actually refers to her as widows, in her little journal entries. And then depending on your world status, if Sarah stays with the Inquisition, I do believe you see an image of her and Scout Harding together. So again, I wonder if they'll put a nod to her relationship or brief stint with Sarah and what happened. So again, even though I don't think they really talk about it in the comic books either, and we will touch on the comic books called The Missing in a minute. But yeah, so for me, I'm very excited to see Scout Harding, and I love the design work. It's like a nod to outfits you saw in Dragon Age Inquisition, but they kind of have like a slight spin on them or something. So again, love it. Love Harding. Yes, queen. Yes to all of her. Okay, again, he said, what are you thinking? And I like how they're having this casual conversation in the middle of a bar fight in Tevinter, and I love it. This right here, I'm so sorry. This woman right here is my favorite new companion, or one of my favorite new companions. The fact that you see her prosthetic leg, I kind of had a feeling who this was when I first saw the prosthetic leg. But for those of you who don't know, if you have read the book, The Streets of read this book, Tevinter Nights, and the book is called, I believe it's called The Streets of Minrathous. Streets of Minrathous by Brianna Batty, who writes this, and this is page 236. Not 236. Yeah, it's 236 in the book. It's a really good short story, and you learn about this incredible woman, and her name is Neeve.
We need someone
look
with
at
your
this.
eyes and ears.
Look at her fashion. Her fashion is just, one, she's hot as fuck. 2, look at this. And I love her ruffled collar, her snake belt, which is a symbol of Tevinter. I don't know. I'm loving it. And then there's also a little nod to the armor you wear as the Inquisitor, the dragon armor that you wear in Inquisition. The lower, some of her outfit gives elements of that, and I love it, and I love her high collar. As we further explore her little hat, we learn that she has a little veil over her face. She's very shishi foo-foo. Even though she's a detective, she's fierce, and I'm loving it. And for me, she's at the #1 spot. Like, she's rivaling with somebody, but she's kind of at the #1 spot. And when you learn about her character and learn about who she is and what she's about, I love it. Like, I love that she's a part of this sect called, it's like some kind of secret dragon sect. I could be getting the name wrong, because you learn about it in the Missing comic book, where we see her wearing this outfit and Varric and Harding are talking with her, and you learn that she's trying to stop or work against, like, she's like a rebellious insurgency in Tevinter about slavery. So for me, you know, knowing that she's against slavery already, and she's a detective, and she really is about getting the truth. And I like how she's like, she's kind of cynical a little bit, the way she kind of views the world, or I could be misinterpreting her, but she's also analytical, and I love those kind of characters. I like thinkers, you know, so to know that she is this, I'm super excited. And I love this scene right here where she's handing a pouch of gold, and then the guy tries to go for her, like he comes at her, and I love how Mama just moves out of the way, like she's like what you doing? Like, you ain't got nothing on this, bitch. Like, you don't know who you fucking with, you know? And I love her design. I love the lacing. I love this art style. I love the green, and it's so nicely and like complements her clothing, her coloring, and I love her face. She's absolutely gorgeous, and I love this hat. It's kind of like a graduation cap in some kind of way, but it's also like, you know, like women back in the 1930s where they had those little hats and they would put the pin, and the little hat would have like a veil over it, and I love that you get to see that in her designing. And again, to the Dragon Age group, they always use European fashion in their like clothing and architecture, and I love it. I'm just so blown away. And I love how they say we need someone to be our eyes and ears in the shadows, and that's what a detective is. You know, that's what detectives do. They are like, they're able to, you know, have contacts and resources, you know, and the fact that she's a detective, for anyone who's ever been interested in like a medieval like game that deals with detective, this is why and it's so cool, because you think about Hard in Hightown, the book, you know, the crime serial that Varric writes that's in the world. I love the fact that the first person they show is a detective. You know, you have Harding, who's Harding in Hightown, and then you have Neeve, who actually is a detective. I don't know. For me, I tied all these things together. And I'm very excited about it. But yes, look at this. And then Mama just look, she just fucking owns this dude with boom, a blast of ice. And I love how they used ice for her to me, this is almost like, it's like giving homage to her cool intellect. So she uses ice. You know, she didn't panic. She just jumped back, and she just, you know, she neutralizes the target with an ice spell. I love that. I think that is so cool. I love her so much. And this right here, I love that her leg is like, it's a dwarven prosthetic leg. And I love this. I love the design. I love how her name came in. Her name is brought in, and everyone has their own unique style of text with their name. I love it. And like, look at that. And I love how you see like the petals falling to indicate her beauty and elegance. I love, you see the streets of Minrathis. You see these magical glowing lights. And if you remember 3 Trees to Midnight, where you meet a mage who's from here, and his job is to turn on and off the lights, like back in the day when the guys would, you know, put out the candles in the street lights during the Victorian era, when they would use gas lamps. Or, you know, and I just love this here. I love her design. I love that she gets the artifact, and she's like standing on her, on the guy who dared to challenge her. Again, Neeve she's hitting all the right spots. You know, love her. And in this right here, now again, if you read Tevinter Nights, 8 Little Talons and The Wake, you'll be very surprised. I know I was very surprised when I saw this, because right here we already see the Man of the Hour, and I love this kind of like crow motif. And if you look at this right here, it's very reminiscent to the woman we see in the alleyway with the rapier, her Antivan crow mask. And I think this actually has more of a significance later as well. Also, something I forgot to mention, there's an eye motif in everything. Almost in everybody's outfit, there's some kind of eye motif, and we see it here with our new character, Lucanis. And I'm really excited to see him. He's also another character I'm kind of interested in romancing. He's not at the top spot. He's not like Neeve and another character, but he, you know, daddy looking right. He, in the words of my friend, Darth Llewellyn, her channel link will be in the video description. She says he has candle wreath. He gives like a candle wreath look, and I can see it. And then I love this here because for those of you who don't know, I think this is Antiva. And Antiva is one of the places we go to. And I love how you see the guy who runs into the lady and this poor woman falls. Like, nobody gonna help her out? And I love how someone who brings a little darkness to the daylight. And I love that the crows are also that. Someone who works in the shadows you would think is an Antiva crow, but no, it's the detective. When a detective is someone who brings a little darkness into the daylight because they're uncovering things, you know? And I like how they switched that around. They played with the wording there, but it's really unique. And I love how you see this right here, and I love the animation. I love Antiva. It looks so beautiful. It makes me want to go to Spain, you know, like just gorgeous. And then we see this daddy just comes in like a thief in the night. He just zooms on in, and then right here like a beast, like. And I love how they use the spin around and like the animation in his hair and his clothing. Again, what I will say is Lucanis is beautiful. He's absolutely beautiful, like Neeve. The daylight right here. And it's just like at this moment he knew he fucked up because snap, like down. And just look at this beautiful bastard. I love that you see he has multiple daggers, like homeboy running around with 4 daggers. I mean, daddy out there to slay. Like, daddy's ready to slay. He's already slayed most of our hearts. If you've been following me on Twitter and myself and many others, I'm pretty sure we've been a little insufferable letting these people live rent-free in our head. And again, I love the eye motif, like eyes in the shadow, the crow, how the crow sees from afar. I love that. I love his hair. I love his design. And for those of you who don't know, this character faked his death before the game. So if you've been on the BioWare website or been reading any of the short stories, I believe it's Brianna Batty does the wake, but when we go to that page, we'll look at it a little bit closer. And again, I just love his designing. I love the dark blue motif, and I love like his belts and everything. It's very, you know, beautiful. Now we got Zevron. That was the first time we experienced an Antivan crow. And, you know, Zevron just wasn't that good at his job. He was better at spreading his thighs than anything else. But I'm excited to see, you know, that we get to romance him. So again, it doesn't matter about your gender. You can be a man or a woman or a them or a they, and you can tap that ass. So I'm just very excited about it. And I love the title he gets, Lucanis, the Mage Killer. Now again, if you've read the book, 8 Little Talons into Winter Nights, I believe he also gets like another book as well, The Wigmaker Job. You learn about it, but you learn that Lucanis actually has a unique ability. He can sense when mages get ready to do magic. He gets a tingle in his eye, and he's ready. It's kind of like he's kind of not necessarily force sensitive, but he's fade sensitive, though he cannot do magic on his own, but he can. Oh, and that brings me back to Harding. Harding also has a little bit of magic of her own, and we'll explore that. We'll talk about that when we kind of get back to that. And we'll get back to Lucanis and his very unique ability with sensing mages before they do magic, which is why he's called the Mage Killer. He's able to strike before they do. So it's really unique, really cool. Love him. He looks so good. And again, I love how they have like that kind of shield thing, because if you know about Antiva kind of has like a veil protecting it. And you see this right here, and I love how they put that in his name. I don't know, for me, that just, it works so well. I love how they're kind of like doing unique things with the name as they represent these new characters. Like, I just love it. Anywho, let's continue. this right here. Now, anyone who went into Trespasser, you go inside the Alluvion. It looks like this is a part of that, like the Olathon Forest or an elven temple. Love it. Looks so beautiful. I can't wait to go to there, as they say. And it just looks so good. Okay, this right here. And you see the beautiful Hala. You see the Hala, you know. Mother of the Hala, her name is the mother of the Hala is Gildatharin. I think it's Gildatharin. She's one of the elven goddesses, mother of the Hala. Just, this looks so beautiful. And you see those little pottery things that you saw, the little bags from Inquisition. Like, these are just things I noticed right away. And that there, boys and girls, is an alluvion. And if you look carefully, you actually see an archway behind it. So the question is, and I'll touch on what an alluvion is in a minute. But is this the portal that our new friend is popping through? You know, like, you kind of see where she was coming from before we introduce ourselves to her. Now, for people who are unfamiliar with alluvions are basically teleportation devices. Now, in the world of Thedas, mages can't teleport. There's this thing called Fade Step where they can kind of like zip from one place to another. Essentially, it's equivalent to Flash and the Speed Force, where a mage uses the energies of the Fade around them and are able to like dash through really quickly. So, you know, so it's really, really cool. So it makes it look like they're teleporting, but it's really, they're just moving real fast within the Fade, and it's called Fade Stepping. Kind of almost akin to Nightcrawler. If you're familiar with Daddy Nightcrawler and all his sexiness, when he bamfs, he actually teleports to a small dimension of hell when he jumps through portals. So that's kind of how alluvions work in this world. So, and now we get to meet the lovely lady, and that is right here. Now, for those of you who may not have noticed this, I did immediately, because if you remember, Thedas calls, and if we remember, Ravane, those tentacles were there. So is this a nod? Did she come from Ravane as she was jumping through? And this young woman is an elf, and we're going to be talking about her a little bit more in just a second. So let's look at Bellara, excuse me. I'm saying Briala because I'm thinking about Inquisition, but her name is Bellara. So, when I first saw her name, I was like, wow. And then you see her title, The Veil Jumper. And we're going to really talk about her because she really has a lot of interesting things going on with her. One, she's an elf. She has a new type of Valasleen or marking on her forehead. Does that mean she is a new type of elf? Now, also, some of you are looking at the triangles on her arm and her hand, on her ring, and it's like the Executors. You know, like, that's something, for those of you, again, who haven't played Inquisition, the Executors are this group of people from powers from across the sea. You know, and we thought, because of the triangles that have the 3 squiggly lines through them, we thought that this character might be an Executor. But they're called Veil Jumpers. So, is she a veil magic archer? You know what I'm saying? Is she some kind of magical archer? And as we go through this, we're going to explain this some more. So you see all that. She has something in her hand and her unique bow arm. We'll talk about that in just a second. And as we see here, as she's jumping through, this looks so good. I love it so much. I love the veil green. And again, if you look behind her, you see like towers and castles and stuff. So was she inside? I forget, it's like this in-between space of the alluvions that you go through. So I love how she said, we're going into the Fade, aren't we? Now, why is this so important? Well, if you played Inquisition, now depending on your world status, for me, I never played Dragon Age 1 or 2, so my Warden and my Hawk are the default versions of that. So I'm wondering, will we go back for Hawk or Stroud or Alistair, depending on your world state? So I like that, you know, that Harding is like, we're going into the Fade, aren't we? And for those of you who don't recognize this woman, she actually was seen in the behind the scenes of BioWare. I believe the woman's name is Jun Lin Shun. Hopefully I'm saying her name correctly because I could be butchering. And she says the line of, no, that's the good kind of Rumble. I thought she was going to be playing a dwarf, but no, she's playing Bellara, who is the Rift Jumper. And I love her outfit. It's very adventure, very like Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake kind of vibes, and I love it. I think this is so cool. And then you notice she's holding something in her left hand. And then you see here when you see this item here. So this is some kind of magical artifact. And it's almost like she's a treasure seeker or an artifact hunter, a tomb raider, so to speak. Okay. And then you see she gets grabbed. And if you notice her hand, it's prosthetic. It's not an actual hand like this. And it is a part of her bow, and the artifact, whatever she had, she drops it. So maybe this might be a part of her story. She was in the, you know, Fade, she was running from something and she lost an artifact. So I'm wondering, is that like a clue to a part of who this woman is? Again, that is a massive bun, sweetie. And it also has me excited for the character creator, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So again, I'm wondering, you know, more about her. And like I said, when we see more of her arm, we're going to talk more about it. So yeah, again, Bellara also, she's not someone I'm interested in romancing, but she's someone who I'm interested in getting to know and making my friend. But then again, I might run into her and might actually say, hey, Bellara, you got me singing a different tune. So as of right now, friend zoned, like that really matters. But you know, I'm very curious to see her story. She's one of the more interesting characters outside of Neeve, and also Lucanis and his handsomeness. Okay, here we go. And she gets pulled back in, and it's also kind of like screaming elements of horror, you know, a little bit. So again, remember that ravine with the octopus and this. So I'm curious to see what this might be representation. Was this meant to be funny or something else? And right here, these two characters, I don't know who they are, but the armor looks kind of familiar to the Inquisitor's armor. I believe if you play as a rogue or an archer rogue, the outfits kind of look like this. So I'm assuming these people are rogues and grave robbers. And then right here, one that you see that her hair whips, please, I hope we can have long hair, because I'm kind of curious of playing as the star character with long hair. I'm gonna play as a man, you know, I want to be a boy. And then because I like, you know, I want him to have long hair because I kind of want to model the character after myself again, because why the hell not? And I love how, and digging up lots of buried secrets. And again, why is this so important? Because here's the next person we're going to meet. This handsome devil. This is Emmerich. Emmerich is a Mortalitasi mage. For those of you who, again, are the uninitiated, Mortalitasi mages are death mages. They, in a sense, are, which this is really fucking cool, necromancers. So one, this looks really cool. Emmerich is also romanceable, and I saw this on Twitter, and I gotta share this with you. There's a picture, there's this meme of Nicki Minaj normally saying, there's this guy, but this image right here, it said, there's this senior citizen. Oh my god. Whoever tweeted this, I can't think of their name right now, but their name is on screen. Genius. Literal genius. I love it. There is this senior citizen that people are thirsting over, and I love it. And then also, if you notice here, the skeletons have no top of the head. Now, if you remember in the concept art, you do see a skeleton with like a flaming head, so I think that's what this is for. And Emmerich, was also in the Dragon Age short stories. I believe it's called The Eternal Flame. And him and his friend, I don't remember her name, she had glasses, they were together, and he's written where he's very not sarcastic, but he's very witty. And I think he's also cynical and witty. And I'm very excited to see a more Talatasi Mage in the necropolis. And also, there is a story where I think they mention him, kind of like he's an offshoot name, Emmerich. And at first I thought he might be related to Cassandra, but he's not a Pentagast. This right here, where it's called, Down Amongst Dead Men. And this was written by Sylvia. I believe she also wrote The Eternal Flame as well. This is page 50 in here. As you can tell, I read this book quite a bit. It's a bit abused. In here, there's a mention of a gentleman named Emmerich. And there's a Mortalitasi Mage in here that's helping a gentleman kind of come to terms with what happened with him. And it's a sad but unique story, and I really like it. And I don't know if that's the same Emmerich as the one we're seeing here, but he is mentioned in a short story, The Eternal Flame, and I really, really like, or Flame Eternal or something like that. I really liked his short story, and I'm excited to meet him as well. He's not someone I'm just ready to jump in a romance, but I am excited to get to know him and meet him. So yes to this guy. I'm very excited to learn his story. And then also, he comes with a companion of his own. He has his own skeleton, and I think it's called Manfric. Manfric is his skeleton that wears a backpack and goggles, and I'm sold. I love him. I love Emmerich. I love his outfit, and I love this death mage look. Again, the fashion in this game is amazing, and I believe they're in the Grand Necropolis in Navarra, based on how this is looking. So you got these grave robbers, and you got this this protector of the tomb, and I love it. Now, this guy, real talk, he's the other romanceable character I am dying to know. What about Darkspawn? And then insert this handsome motherfucker. And I love his Valasleen. I don't know. I don't recognize it. I thought it might have been like maybe a modernized version of an older Valasleen, but I don't think so. And again, I'm just so happy to see a handsome black man in a video game again, you know, because we got in Baldur's Gate we got Will, in Dragon's Dogma we get Brant, and now we get Davrin. And this man, and I just love the fact that they gave him dark eyes. Like, he has dark eyes. He's an elf, a Dalish elf. He looks so beautiful. Like, I love his high collar. I love that he has a plunging neckline where you get to see those nice big titties. Like, oh my god, like him and Neeve are contending for the first spot, and I pray that we can get a poly romance going, and Neeve and Davrin are okay with my character Rook, you know, just Rook being a player and just in like, I'm smashing both, you know. So again, I love this guy. He's automatically one of my favorite, and we actually get to see his voice actor as well. So we know he says for the Wardens, and again, the voice acting in this game, in all three games, have been amazing. So I know this game will be no different. Just look at this. And then you see him taking down these Darkspawn. Now, some of you might notice you see griffins, right? You see griffins. It looks like you're in some kind of tomb. So I'm wondering, is this White's House? Are you in the Anderfels? You know, where this is happening. And if you look at the Darkspawn, they're glowing and they have these veins. And it looks like these are Darkspawns blighted with red lyrium. You know, and for those of you who don't know what red lyrium is, just in short, it's a very bad thing. The blight is a very bad thing, and red lyrium, blighted lyrium, is a very bad thing. So you see our very handsome gentleman with his warden shield, and you see, you know, remnants or hinting at that plunging neckline that myself and many others are very excited about. Now Varric ain't the only one showing off them nice titties. And just look at Daddy and I love his hair. I love that they gave him the curly, kinky hair. Fuck yes, because as you can see, my hair is very different. Even though I'm a person of color. But still, Daddy looking right, Daddy taking him down. And just look at this beauty. Like him and Neeve. Jesus, like if you're watching any of my Let's Plays right now, especially Dragon's Dogma, I have a problem when it comes to dark-skinned, attractive men and women. It doesn't matter what nationality. Something about a darker complexion on anybody I can't get enough of. I love his hair. Like, oh, God. My God. And I know people don't like this art style because they say it looks like a first-person shooter, looks Pixar-ish. For me, it checks all those boxes. I am sold, and I look at his shield. Like, you can tell it looks battle worn, you know, and it has a griffin on it. And I love, it's kind of like a play on the, not necessarily the Warden armor, but it looks kind of like the rogue armor that you get in Inquisition. Here it is on screen, so you kind of know what I'm talking about, and I love it. I just love everybody's high color. I love this hyper, like, really exaggerated fashion. It looks so good. It looks so good, and those lips look so good, and just, like, this game, I'm so excited. Like, yeah, man. And then you see this right here. Now, for those of you who recognize, this looks like one of the blighted monsters you see in the concept art. And again, you see the darkspawn are glowing with red lyrium, and you see their lyrium like it's coming out of their fingers. I love it. And for those of you who may have noticed, this is that beautiful tree, that sexy tree we all want to romance. When we first got early glimpses of the engine for Dragon Age the Veilguard, you see that big blighted tree, and I think this is that area, so I think that's but what makes it weird, because the Anderfeld, Whitehaupt, there aren't many trees, because it's like a big desert area, so it began to make me think, maybe this isn't Whitehaupt. Maybe this is in a forest. Could this be the Elephant Forest? Could this be somewhere else? The reason why I thought it might be related to the Grey Wardens, because you see that griffin statue in the background. And I love how they're like, yeah, someone could stand between us and a horde. It says someone who will stand between us and a pack of demons. And I love how you see this, like, just monstrous looking creature, and it's massive, and it's coming for you. It's like, yes, Daddy, please be my shield so I can watch you from the back. You know, I can watch you and Neeve from the back, like, get 'em, mommy, let's go, freeze them bastards. Like, oh my God, I'm so here for this. And then here, like, oh my God, I don't know. I'm a sucker for this man, like, in more ways than one. And you see this, he turns his head so quickly. But then you see this. I don't care what you say, this baby's name is Lightwing. He's not Griffey. He's not none of those names you hear. This is Lightwing. If you say anything else, I will fight you. Not really, I'm kind of lazy. But still, I will fight you. My words stand, okay? But look at this little baby. Like, and for those of you who don't know, griffins were said to be extinct. And if you played Origins, you learn about them if you talk to Wynn. You learn a little bit more about Grey Wardens. And in Inquisition, there's hinting that there might be them coming back in one of the Codex entries. And then if you read the book called The Last Flight, which I do not own, but I have read a little bit of it. Oh, you know what? There's this channel called Gildatharin. This is her channel icon. She's also on the council board for Dragon Age Dragon Age the Veilguard. She's absolutely incredible. Her channel link will be in the video description. Please check her out. She goes over the codex entries, and she kind of summarizes the Last Flight book, and the griffins are hinted at maybe coming back. And if you read about the Grey Wardens, you learn that they have kind of up and left. They just went back to Whitehaupt because they're saying there's trouble with the Wardens. And could this be it? The resurgence of Griffins, and maybe something has happened to the Griffins or something? Of course, there's trouble at Whitehaupt to begin with. So again, I'm just very excited to see my baby Lightwing. Again, Lightwing. don't you make me come for you. I will, okay? And we must protect our baby. And the fact that you get to romance him and you get the griffin, it's like you have your husband and your child. You're set. You're set. And if you're a girl, if you play as a woman, then you can have your second child, your child with Davrin, which you know, I'm jealous of because as a man, I can't have children, but at least I get my fur baby, you know, so it worked. Look at this. Just look at this little thing. Just look at him going just vicious already. And I'm wondering, he's a baby now. Do we watch him grow and will he turn into a mount? And can we have a moment where we have a romantic scene where we ride on the griffin with Davrin and Rook, the player character, you know? I just like, oh, look at this. And then right here, look at Daddy go. And you hear that song, We Can Be Heroes, and we'll touch on that in just a second. And then where it's revealed that this is Davrin the Warden. And we see how it's like the wing of the griffin kind of like hovering over his name with the shield. I don't know. I'm a sucker for this. And again, the title, The Warden, the Veil Jumper, the Mage Killer, the Detective, the Scout, you know, the next character. But again, sold. All my money. All my money, my love, everything. Can I have a house with him and Neeve? That's all I want to know. Can Neeve and I and Davrin be a happy couple together? You know, a throuple. That's what they call them, a throuple. Can we have that? Because I need that in my life. Okay, let's continue. Now we're continuing right here. We see our little baby, just be a monster. Just get him, baby. Go Lightwing. Just Lightwing is just like, I'm fucking you up, fool. And this is how I saw when I saw this graveyard, because if you remember where that tree was, you see the graves, over in there. So I'm wondering, is this a part of that? You know, the Grey Wardens have gone back to the Anderfelds, and not the Anderfelds, Whitehout, you know, where their headquarters is, and maybe this is an area within that area that they're trying to protect or take down, because, you know, Davrin is pretty much, he's been labeled as a monster killer, a monster hunter, so I love it. Boom, just look at that. Go, baby, go. And look at that. All these, like, Daddy already prepared. Like, I'm so excited to really get to know this cat. Even if I don't romance him, and he and I are just like bros. Love it, love it. Boom, love that. So hot, so cool. And I love how she's like, you know, there'll be dragons. Like, there'll be dragons, you know? And again, it's Dragon Age. Of course there'll be dragons. What the fuck were you thinking? You know, and I love how Varric just like pops this cat in the face. And they're just so cute. And I love how like, they don't even have their bows anymore. It's like, they just like, you know, Mutt and Jeff. Like, you know, fisticuffs. Let's go. I love it. I think that's so cool. Dragons. And then right here, again, I know everybody probably focused on the fact that Varric had the Inquisition thing. I was looking at them titties. Because Neeve got a nice pair as well. Like, I don't think I didn't notice, just because I was talking about her fashion and that collar, we were just denied, but we know mommy has a bountiful, endowed harvest, and my God. Okay, the thirst is real. And for, you know, we can't spank Varric, but, you know, I mean, we could still fawn over his loveliness and the very beautiful Scout Harding. Yes, let's just continue and admiring Daddy's beauty. Right. I like, he's like, right. And I love, like, you see these scars on his face. And I don't know. I love this art. I love the art. I love his jacket. And if you read the comic book, The Missing, this is kind of what they look like as well. So again, I love that they're paying homage to that in this artwork as well. Again, I hope we can go into this bar. But anywho, right here, this is the peninsula known as Ravane, where my wife, Isabella, comes from. Isabella was a character we were introduced in Dragon Age 2. She is a rogue, a thief, she's a pirate, and now she's an admirable. Or maybe she just wears a really big hat, as in the words of Varric. And this is one of the dragons you do fight in Inquisition. And you'll notice, the dragon is breathing fire, and then we get to meet our final companion, and that is Taash. the Dragon Hunter. One, I love her design. And again, if you look at her horn rings, this is an eye. Again, the eye motif, the eye of the Qunari, the eye, the watchful eye, the eyes of the god, the eyes of the Dreadwolf. I love that there's an eye motif in the character designs. I think they're so cool. I just love it so much. And of course, now everyone gets to meet Harley Quinn, and I love her braid. I hope we can have long hair in this game. And one thing that you notice about Harley Quinn is that her horn, I think we get a better look at it. No, we don't get a better look at it. Not right there. Hold on. Maybe right here. Right here, we get a better look at her horn, and it looks like it's some kind of jade horn. So you see her actual horn. Her horn must have got broken, or maybe something happened to it, and she now has this specialized horn, and I'm very curious to learn the story. And I love her jewelry. I love her very exotic looking jewelry. I love her armor. Again, it's very reminiscent to the dragon armor you get in Inquisition. So again, I love her hair. I love her look. I'm kind of tempted on romancing her as well. She's kind of in the same ballpark as Lucanis. I am interested in romancing her. Again, if I can have if I can have my harem, I can just romance everybody, then so be it. Because, bisexual problems, it's when you're spoiled for choice. And mommy, I like this, that she has this very rough face. I don't know. I like it. I think she's cool. What they say, wife vibes. Because then it makes you think about Karlach and her, and it's just, fuck yeah. And I love how they say, we'll need someone with fire in their blood, saying the Qunari are tied to dragons. Maybe we'll get to learn more about the Kossith, which is their actual name, the people. The Qunari is a name they adopted from, I believe, the Qun. But I could be wrong. If you guys know better, tell me in the comment section down below. I love that you see the fire around her, and you see the fire, and you see her name has scratches, like she's a warrior, and she's a dual-wielding warrior. Love her so much. It reminds me of Gwyneth in the Dragon Age Absolution cartoon, which is amazing, and I recommend you watch it. You get to see a Mage Qunari. So I don't know, I'm very happy to see her. And then look at this. Get 'em, mama. Like, look at this. I'm sorry, dragon girl. We hardly knew you. And you see how she jumped. You see the statue of Andraste. You see more of the peninsula. See those giant skeletons. And like I said, in this game, we may be encountering monsters from beyond the veil. Now, again, there's a reason that they changed the title, and we'll go into that further as we dive further into this. Bye, dragon.
One more thing.
Bam. And then it says, one more thing, we're going to need a leader. And you see this scene here. And I just look at mommy. Just look at her. Just look at this fucking beautiful girl. Like, love it. I love the relief of the freckles against her red hair. Like, fuck yeah. Scouting is also a character I'm very interested in romancing. She kind of falls into the ballpark of Lucanis and Taash, or Taash. Hopefully I'm saying her name correctly. She's kind of in that ballpark. Of course, she kind of is in the lead in that group, but I'm still, my brain is fucked with Neeve and Davrin. I don't know what to do. I'm kind of at a loss. We'll see what happens in my Let's Play. But anywho, we see this scene here, and you see this. Now, again, I just want to give credit to the designers of this game. This is something I noticed. If you look under the hood, that's a black man. And I know people can say, oh, this is woke, this is DEI, whatever. But again, as a black man, I appreciate seeing a black face. Another black, dark-skinned person in media, though I'm not a dark-skinned black person. I might be a little envious of darker skinned people. I think they're very attractive. But anywho, I like this because they also did this in Street Fighter 6. The default character is an African or a person of color, and I say I like it, but don't just stop at black men. Let's go with Asian women, Asian men, Spanish, Hindi, All of it. Native American, don't just stop at us, you know, and do not cut white people out of the conversation. I don't think that's fair to them. So I like what they did, like in Baldur's Gate, you know, the high elves were white, the humans were black, you know, and the other characters were like white. Then you got the dragonborn, you know what I'm saying? You got the orcs, you got a little bit of everybody, you know, and I want them to do that again with future games. And I love it. And he said, this crew needs a leader, someone we can count on. And this is Rook. Rook the chess piece, or Rook the bird, you know, and I like that. And then if you notice the outfit, the armor, it's very reminiscent to in the concept art where you see the person holding the sword and they have their finger up with the darkspawn. And we'll talk about, again, we can be heroes, and when I get further into this, and you notice the armor here, his look, and I hope this armor is in the game, rather if you're because this character seems like a default rogue, because if you played the first game, Origins, or if you played Inquisition, it was very clear that they were default warriors. And then in 2, Hawk is a default mage. So this person's default is a rogue. So a dual wielding archer kind of rogue person. And I just, again, I appreciate this so much. I love it so much. It's so cool. But I like how they have them really covered up, because you also notice this when you see the Dreadwolf trailer, back when it was called Dreadwolf, you see a person in an alley with a kind of like a knife, like an owl knife or a knife, and they're wearing this. So was that a hint at, you know, the Rook then, you know? So I'm very interested. So really cool.
Someone we can count.
And look at just look at this fool just wrecking shit. Like, I love it. You know? And I love this right here, like how he just throws the knife. And then,
But where are we?
and I love Varric, like, he's just like, and where are we gonna find, like, I just want to play with his beard. Like, is it me? Am I the only one? Like, you don't want to just play with his chest hair. You want to play with his beard and show, and let him know, it's alright you don't have Bianca. You got me. Like, I'm here for you. Rook is in position. Okay? Let's go. And I love how Harding is like, turn your ass around. And then we see this. And I say we can be heroes. And I like how you see the shadow against the light, the veil, like the veil of light surrounding Rook. And I like how it's almost telegraphing, you know, the hope, the last stand, the Veilguard. And we'll talk about that more in depth and in a minute, but I love the light, and I love the shadow that rise from the darkness, the hope, the key essential piece to this guard, to put this guard together, the leader of the Veilguard, which is Rook. And I love this. I love this, and I love how you see destruction all around them, and it plays very well into the next scenes we're about to see. So let's go. And then if you notice on his back, once again, oh, matter of fact, hold on, let me see if I can find it where you see a closer view of Rook. And his look. I'm saying his in this version because for this segment, Rook is he's male. But if you look right here, you see that same kind of the new shape they have, the new like V, the veil, like Veilguard V. You see that, and you see like it looks kind of like there's an eye in there as well, kind of like an eye, the eye of the Dreadwolf watching. I love how they have that in the armor. Again, there's an eye motif, the watch, the Veilguard, the ones who watch the veil, or the one peering through the veil. Again, I don't know. For me, when I saw that, I'm eating right now, honey. Can't you tell we're having a feast? And I'm just, so here. And I just love it. And you see like the triangles. Like, I love the design. Very cool. Kind of almost, even dare I say it, Mortal Kombat, like finish him. And he just knocks him out. That's just me thinking like a fighter game player. But yeah, I don't know. I love it. And I love these guys' armors as well. At first I thought this was Venatori, but then I said, this might just be City Guard, you know, City Guard or Bandits, not entirely sure, but we'll find out when the game comes out and when we get that gameplay trailer release. And then love it.
Someone that the world can count on.
Yeah, and I love it. I love the curved blades, you know, the Arax. Or I don't think that's what you actually call them, but I just love it. And I love this.
But where are we gonna find her?
Okay, one, they just look beautiful. But here, we can be heroes, and I love how a hero rises. Again, they're telegraphing so much. People so misunderstood this trailer. People said, oh, it seems Marvel. It's not. It's not. It's trying to fill you with hope because the Veilguard is the last stand. You know, and we'll touch on that in just a minute. And then you get to see a little bit more of that V, and that looks like it's a blade or something going through it, like into an eye or something. I can't really see it that well. But yeah, I like this design. I think it's so ingenious. Just for one day. And it's a together. And then you see this here. Now, guys, I want you to understand what's taking place right now. I don't know if this is the in-between, kind of like in-between zone of the Alluvions, or if this is Arlathon, or this is inside the Veil. Because as we further explore this, I'm going to point out to you a few things that I noticed that might be leaning towards this is inside the Veil. And this may not end the way we are all kind of hoping for. You know, maybe Lavellan gets closure, maybe not, who knows, we'll see. But again, now we're seeing Bellara, and we see her unique Balasleen. This also could be jewelry, you know, on her forehead. And again, if you see her arm, you see how it separates? This is a prosthetic magical arm, meaning our Inquisitor can have one of these. And if you notice, the floating triangles that are on her are magic. So again, I thought this was a representative of the Executors. It's not the Executors. These are Veil Jumpers, and I didn't realize this, but mommy has a boob window. Hello. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. And then we see this right here where she hits him, but there's also like, I want to say like veil energy, or that could be another image together. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so maybe there's not here, but you definitely do see magic on this. So maybe it's magic and tech, like magical tech. Very interested. Also, this guy in the back right here, this bastard right here is Lucanis. Because remember that thing that was on his back at the beginning of the trailer? I think when it opens, this comes out. So this might be some type of lyrium armor. Maybe red and blue makes purple. Veilguard. Maybe this is something you get later in game. Maybe this could be something you get because, again, this guy faked his death maybe to help in the Veilguard. Who really knows? Because he didn't want to become one of the leading talons from his grandmother. So yeah, so here you see Harding, you see Rook, you see more Darkspawn that's blighted, and she just looks so cool. Like, I think she's going to be another really cool character to get to know, and we might end up saying, hey, you know, girl, I'm down. Like, I'm down. And I love the fact that she's Asian. Like, you know, I like the fact that they went there with the different nationalities, because you never really see Asian characters in this game. And the fact that we get an Asian girl, a black male protagonist, and it's the types of characters are very different. Neeve, you can even say, is maybe she could be black. She could be also like Middle Eastern or Hindi, Moroccan. You know, I love the fact that everyone has different nationalities, and Dragon Age is known for that. So I really appreciate it more now than ever. And we see, and then right here where my wife, fuck you, this is my wife, Neeve is just being a right badass. Look at mommy, just look at, let's, my God, look at this beautiful face. Look at that veil. And like, she has a little wand right here. And she's using ice. Cool intellect. You know, a cool use of intellect can go a long way when you're battling, when you're facing your own mortality. And I love that you see that. And I love the Teventer snake and this snake motif on her. She just looks so good. Like, and you see that V right there. You could say maybe it's like a diamond, but you see that V in her little hat. mommy just look right. Like, mommy look right. Like, do you want to move in today? Like, look, I don't have a dog, but I have a griffin and a boyfriend, and you can, am I alone? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm thirsty. Again, here we see Lucanis facing down this giant darkspawn. I really want to know what this is. What is this? Like, this, I noticed so much. Again, this kind of reminds me of Vivienne. Vivienne was very high society, very ritzy, aristocratic, and it's. I think we're gonna get that again with Neeve. Neeve is just, for fuck's sake, like, my God, this fucking woman is ruining my life. I cannot wait for this game to come out. Hopefully it does come out later this year. I'm thinking maybe November or late December. If it gets pushed back further, I would accept it, because we waited 10 years, okay? Well, me, not as long as most of you. But yeah, if they need a little bit more time, let them have it. Let them have it, because they need it if they need this to really work to help BioWare. Especially with how the industry as a whole, including BioWare, because this game has been in development hell. But anywho, mommy looking right. Let's stay on the positive. And I love her little wand, her little staff is so cute. And, mommy's just wrecking people. I love what they say, defy the gods. Gods meaning more than one. Now, they actually say in an article with Game Insider that Solus is not the only ancient god you need to be concerned about, because following this scene right here, and we looking at my boyfriend, my husband, we saw a glimpse of my wife, and it's perfectly followed up with my husband. It's perfect. And then you see them opposite each other. It's already telegraphing who I'm going to be loving in this game. We're going to have orgies. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be epic. Bellara, she's welcomed her in that nice little boob window. I'm just kidding. Forgive me. I know I'm terrible, but I'm just loving this here. I love this fight. And I'm explain again, I want you to keep in mind we can be heroes, just for one day. This is from the David Bowie song. And then, like, you see Harley Quinn just, like, obliterate this dude. Like, love it. Go, mommy. And then here, we see Emmerich. This looks like Emmerich is running. He's running, and Scouting is covering him. Harding is covering him as he's running out of there, because look at what's coming. It is a dragon. Now, this does not look like an archdemon to me. I don't think this is Mythal, but look at the massive size of this, and there's so much to talk about in this one scene, so buckle up, kids. What we're seeing here is an eclipse. Now, in all of the artwork, we notice there's the eclipse. Is this an eclipse inside the veil, or inside of Arlathon, or the veil being shattered as this eclipse is taking place? And what's being unleashed on the world is one of the old gods. I don't know if this is Mythal, but then again, if you think about the horns going like this, I think this might be one of the elven gods. At first, I kind of thought this might be Kieran. Now, for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, Kieran is the son you have if you play as a male Grey Warden, or even if you play as a woman. Well, technically not your son if you're not a man. You can sleep with Morgan at the end of the first game and get her pregnant with an old god spirit that goes into Kieran. Now, depending on your world status, this may not necessarily be your son, because if you play as a woman, or you're playing as a gay man, or you might be in love with, like, someone else, Morgan will say, okay, if not you, then Alistair, or if you don't murder him, Logain. So this could be, that I was thinking, but this could be Kieran, it could be one of their children. But then I thought about it, depending on your world status, Kieran may not even exist. He doesn't exist in my world. My Inquisitor, when he meets up with Morgan, Morgan does not have a child. And that default world status, the Grey Warden, who is a woman, she died after she killed the Archdemon. So, and I believe that was, it wasn't Do Not. I forget which Archdemon that was you take down in Origins. So I don't think this is Kieran, but it could be Kieran depending on your world status, but I don't think it will be. So this could be like Lucanis. I don't think this is Mythal, because Mythal's dragons, her horns went backwards. I'm thinking about the horns that may be going like curving around like this. This could be Andriel. You know what I mean? It could be one of the other elven gods. And if you look behind here, this is the pantheon symbol of the different Elvenuris, the elven gods, their pantheon. So you see that right here. So is this where the Elvenuris has been kept? Remember, the Forgotten Ones that that Solus locked away, if you understand Solus's character, what's happening here. So this is telegraphing so much. Now, this is what I want you guys to understand, and this is why I think most people have horribly misinterpreted this trailer. Let me explain why. Because when you hear that we can be heroes just for one day, you are the Veilguard, meaning you have to go, remember, we have to go inside the veil, right? We're going to need people to get us in and out of the veil. We're going to need intelligence. We're going to need people who can help us do this. And now you have all these titled members, you know. And when we watch another video, if you look at the behind the scenes trailer, there is a young woman that says you could see which party member lives and which party member dies. And again, keeping that in mind, understanding that you are the Veilguard, you are the last line of defense from keeping these things, these blighted nightmares, from crossing over into our world, because the gods want to blight our world. And you are the last line of defense. You are the Veilguard, meaning you are about to sacrifice everything. You are going to die. And that is what I'm getting from this. When I first saw this trailer, I got massive chills, because I was like, oh my God, this is not the hopeful thing people are thinking, to say we can be heroes just for one day. We are the last stand as we fight off a horde of blighted creatures. An ancient god is raining down fire on us. We need a dragon hunter, a dragon slayer. We need a monster hunter to be our tanks to fight them off, while the mages work their spells in necromancy, while our, Rook, the leader, can, lead from the front as we do our final standoff against the Elvenurians, against the Elven God. And maybe not just Solus may even become not necessarily a companion, but he may end up having to help us, because he's now realizing his pride. Solus, the Elven word means pride. His pride blocked his view, and it's eclipsed what he is now bringing upon the world, on both worlds. To bring back the Elvenuris is to unleash the blight, which will kill us all. And there's only one way to stop it: by putting a Veilguard up. The ones who will stand, the last stand, the guard, the Veilguard, our last line of defense to save us. And you, as Rook, may sacrifice yourself to save your team, or maybe you might sacrifice team members to stay inside the veil as it is closed forever with Solus's help. That could be how this game will end. And that's the vibe I got with hearing we can be heroes, and the way and how it's saying we can be heroes just for one day. That might even be something that's said in the game, where you're realizing you as Rook are about to leave your lover in the veil forever, or you might be leaving your lover as they escape from the veil, and you stand as the Veilguard, the last defenders of Thetis. As Thetis calls for help, her guard comes to defend her. You know what I mean? And when you understand that story significance, it gives you chills, because you understand the stakes are so incredibly high, which is why I say people have massively misunderstood this trailer. I could be totally wrong in my theory crafting, but this is what I got from watching this. And then let's just let the rest of this play out, and that just looks so epic and cool, and I'm so here for it. Dragon Age, the Veilguard, coming this winter, this fall, and I'm really excited about it. And of course, that's just the end of it. Now, I wanted to bring this up as well, we see right here. Hold on. And then, of course, you know, by the time you're watching this, the gameplay footage could already be up right here. Now, remember I said that scouting has a little bit of magic, and if you remember in the Descent DLC, there's a woman who actually gets some kind of weird lyrium magic, kind of like Sandal. She might even be the exact same way, because they talk about that. And if you notice right here with Lucanis, his eyes are glowing, meaning that he can sense the magic before it happens, which is why he's the perfect mage killer going into Deventer, you know, up against a city of mages in power, you know. So again, and this is Manfred, Emmerich's right hand man, his manservant or his skeleton servant, with his backpack. And I hope we get to befriend Manfred. I love it so much, and I love how in almost every Dragon Age game, we get an inhuman companion. So like we got Shale, we had Justice in the second game. I'm trying to remember. I don't think there was no inhuman companions in that one. And then this one, we get, like, in the other game, we got Cole, and then we have him. You know, I'm here for it. I'm sold. Let's go. And for those of you who might notice this right here, this is a lyrium dagger. This is what plays into the motif that this character is a rogue, because that's a lyrium dagger, and I'm really excited about it. I you know, because it kind of offsets the red lyrium dagger that Solus has, and so I'm really excited about this. I cannot wait. And just look at my husband, look at my wife, like these two, these beautiful. And I'm wondering, will they romance? Like, if you don't romance them, will they romance each other? You know, this art, this game, I'm so ready for this. Now, let's go back to the Dragon Age YouTube channel, right here. And if you're wondering all the things that you're looking at on my page, I'm very into analytics on my channel. So let's go back to here. Let's talk about this. So as you can see, this is, hopefully I'm saying this, Tervisio. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly, and you're seeing that you're in Antiva, where you are in this area with the crows, and then you can see the city of Antiva as it glows and ripples, and this plays very much into Lucanis's name. So again, I think that, you know, the Vale of Antiva may become a haven for people to go to, like refugees from Deventer. They may have to go to Antiva. Antiva may play a very big role going forward. So I'm very excited to see this as well. So I love this. The game looks beautiful. Now, Ravane. Now, remember that octopus that grabbed Bellara? Now, you see that here. Now, the question is, was Bellara in this area? She used an Illuvian to escape, and this creature came through. Or is this a creature from beyond the veil? Is this a creature from the veil that comes through, that Bellara's like, hey, I did this thing, and I kind of brought this creature with me, and it's kind of killing Ravane, and, yeah, I'm gonna need your help. You know what I mean? Or maybe this is Taash. You know, Taash, remember, they said there will be dragons, and then again, Davrin, a monster slayer. And what do we see here? A monstrous size octopus. And I am so here for it. It looks so cool. I love the map. I don't know. To me, Dragon Age is like Resident Evil. Despite how you may feel about it, these are two franchises that are just the best. They're so good. And then also Baldur's Gate. So also, if you're looking at my channel, yes, Baldur's Gate, Hogwarts Legacy, Dragon's Dogma 2, and all those other Let's Plays will continue on the channel, so stay tuned. So yeah, so you're seeing that, and I love it. Glory to the risen gods. Now, understanding Ravane, that could be an ancient god. Remember, defy the gods. This is one of the gods you're going to have to fight. So again, so that's what I said. Bellara really, she brought in, when you saw those tentacles, she brought up something unique. Is this one of the many gods you're going to have to face? Maybe you have to lock it within the Illuvian. Who really knows? I'm just very excited about it. And this is the same peninsula you see Taash or Carly Kuhn fighting the dragon. This is the area. You see that statue of Andraste. You see that boat. Those giant skeletons, the giant bones right here. That's the same area. So that dragon hunter has been, she been busy. She been at work. Mommy been at work. And I love it. It's just so beautiful, the peninsula. Oh, I love scenes like this. The Anderfeld. Now then, again, this is why I thought when you saw Davrin with that tree, that this is somewhere in the area, even though the Anderfelds are, they're blighted. White's out, it's all blighted. But there are, as you can see, this looks like, kind of like, this could be mountainous terrain. I'm not exactly sure. It looks like it's mountainous terrain. But yeah, that also could be that. Maybe this is inside White's House. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe there might be pockets of trees and forests. I'm not exactly sure. The reason why White's House is blighted is that the land cannot, nothing can truly die there. You can die there, but nothing decays there. So let's just say there was a dead body, that someone that died there, right? You can leave and come back years later and that body will still be there, like in suspended animation or like in cryostasis, but just in the hot lands of the Anderfelds, which is pretty intense. I mean, it's so blighted, nothing can truly decay there. That's insane. But yeah, so this is why I was thinking the tree area, that graveyard might be in White's House. Grey Wardens don't hide in their castle. That could be a reason. Remember, we saw the Griffins, so the Griffins are back. So we see that. And then we see this here. Now this looks very reminiscent to what we saw happening with the Grey Wardens. You saw him fighting and it was all blighted. So maybe this is somewhere outside of White's House. Again, when we go there and when we get the gameplay footage, we'll see what's really going on. I love it. It looks so good. Okay. And then now we see like the different areas. So this, like all these tentacles. So like Ravane, Teventer, Antiva, all that stuff. White's House. You see all those areas and you see the crows. This is Antiva over here. And then this might be the Alathan Forest as well, because there's a lot of kookiness going on there as well.
Soon share the peace and comfort of my reign.
Now remember, you hear that dragon. Remember that giant dragon we see at the end of the Veilguard trailer. So could that be that person? Is this there's Mythal, but her husband, could this be her husband? Could it be another elven god? Could it be something entirely different? Who knows? Could it be, powers from across the sea? So I'm just really excited to understand what's happening here. Now, the summer reveal, now we've already seen that take place. So that's why I'm thinking the Veilguard is actually something much, much different than what we think we may know, and why I think people unfortunately just really interpreted this trailer. Now, this right here, the BioWare, Dragon Age behind the scenes. Now, this is something I want us to kind of watch and pay attention to. This is where the Grey Warden is fighting. This is where Davrin is fighting, because you see the tombs, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if this is on the edges of the Anderfell or the Alathan Forest. Who knows where this really is? It could be something in the Fade. I don't know, because you see all this green energy. But I'm really excited to explore this area. Let's see. This right here. This is why I say this could potentially be Rook. Because remember, Rook is like a default. Rook is a default rogue. And I think this might be it. Now you see all these bodies around him. This is why this gives me the idea of last stand. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're like, I need a minute. We gotta keep fighting. We gotta give Solus or someone enough time to shut the veil forever, and I will stay behind. I will be the last stand of the Veilguard. And to me, now understanding that, seeing that trailer, seeing this concept art, to me it's making sense. I don't know if it's making sense to you. Jun Young Han. So sorry. So Jun Young Han. Hopefully, again, I hope I'm saying her name correctly, but I believe that's how it's pronounced. And it says voiceover artist Bellara. So I thought this was a dwarf, but she's not.
That's the good kind of rumble.
Love it. And then again, here is that octopus again. This looks like a peninsula, and here you are fighting off this monster. So again, could we be dealing with Gillenon and her monstrosities? Remember, if you read this book, The Horror of Harmach, you learn more about, I could be getting the goddess's name wrong, but you learn about her in The Horror of Harmach, which is on hold on. The Horror of Harmach is, hold on, that's not it. Yes, that is written by John Epler. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. That's on page 74. That's a very good book. And you learn about all these monsters that are from the goddess of the Hala, the goddess that, you know, she kind of created. And Jewel is the goddess's name. So maybe these are her creatures, and maybe we still see these creatures, because remember, Pride, Solus may have stopped her from killing these creatures, and now the veil is being torn down. These creatures, I could have knocked something over there. Are coming through, and you have to fight them, you know. So that may also be part of the thing. You have to go to these designated areas to fight off these giant hordes of monsters, really large monsters. And of course, you're gonna need, you know, a Grey Warden, a monster hunter, and a dragon hunter to help you out. So again, I think these people are gonna play some very important roles. Yeah. Oh, and look, this is the thing I was talking about. The thing that was running at the Grey Warden, that is that creature. So I love seeing that the concept art has now made it into the game. I'm so pumped for this fucking game. You do not understand a boy's level of hype and excitement. I'm so ready for this. Okay, so let's continue.
So I do all of, like, the big threats.
Ooh, the spider with the hands. And you see this here. So understanding the new type of combat we're getting is more like hack and slash, freeform, kind of like a little bit more like a Dragon's Dogma, God of War-ish, you know, button masher. And if it's that, yes, and then there's like a strategy tactical thing that you can still take over your 2 party members versus 3. You have 2 because you have only 7 party members. I'm excited about that. Like, I'm really excited to know that it's a smaller group, so it's more intimate and you can really get to know these people. And that's the thing where BioWare excels, is when they're in their companions. They do such a good job, just like in Baldur's Gate. Okay. This beautiful son of a bitch. This is my Davrin right here. All of this. Look at this. Look at those beautiful eyes. Ugh. Fucking beautiful. Eyes on my wood. He's not only beautiful as a voice actor, but he's also playing a beautiful character. It's just not fair. You know, if you ever see this, if you ever see this, I love you. I think you're amazing. Yes. For the Wardens. Yeah, and he says for the Wardens. To me, that sounds like a final battle cry. You know, for the Wardens. Maybe this could be when you first meet him and he's fighting off the Darkspawn horde, and that's where we first meet him, you know, facing these things up for himself. Or maybe he's in the Veil, his last stand, his final battle cry for the Wardens to fight off this thing as a guard of the Veil. And I love it. Now, listen what Catherine is about to say.
Making can mean that a party member lives or a party member dies.
Now, do you understand? hear what I'm saying, the Veilguard, you might have to sacrifice somebody. A party member lives or a party member dies. She doesn't say party members, a party member. Live or die. That could be the person that we sacrifice to the veil as the rest of us make an escape. If we don't, like Rook is standing there trying to breathe while everyone's getting out, you sacrifice yourself to let everyone else go. You know what I mean? So I think that is just, and then understanding that BioWare is really excited about this story. They're really excited about it, and I'm excited about it.
And it means owning your outcome and
owning your outcome.
reactivity to the choices that you do make.
I just love the possibilities that Dragon Age offers us.
And again, it's so telling of what we're going to experience when we finally encounter the world. Like, people don't understand when they say we can be heroes for just one day. And then when you really start to understand the sacrifice they might be making, and Varric may be the person who dies at the end of this game. He might die early on in this game, because remember, she talks about him not looking so well. Maybe Varric is sick. Who knows? And then you have all these people that you're getting to know. And even though you are about to go on this journey with them, these people are about to risk everything to shut down the veil. And we may have consequences of someone not coming back with us, or we may never come back. We may actually go in to get, Hawk or whoever we left within the veil. Who knows? Again, that's my husband. I love him. Do you understand? And then, understanding, we're getting back Griffins and what's happening to the Wardens. The world is being blighted all over again. And that now we need a new leader. We need someone who can stand in the face of danger and be the leader of the veil. And that is who we're playing as. And that is the person, we can all count on. And that, enter Rook. And again, I just love how he's veiled in light right here, or she, depending on how you play them, or them, are veiled in light as they are now being revealed as you, the player. And again, love it. So good. This trailer is so fucking good. People do not understand what they are looking at because they're so caught off guard by the art style. And I'm telling you, this game, if it's doing what I think it's gonna do, Dragon Age the Veilguard is gonna hit like it's gonna hit you hard. And I'm here for it. If I cry during this Let's Play and I have an ugly cry, that's because the writers did a good job. Because even in Inquisition, it hits you emotionally. When you, especially if you romance Solas, which I never have. I've only seen Solas's romances. It hits you hard when you understand what happens in that romance. It's so good. It's so well done. And this, I think, is going to do the same thing. So with that said, and as we come into a close of this video, but I'm so excited for this game. But again, as we wrap up this video, I want to know, what do you guys think? Do you see the things that I'm talking about? Or is the art style and the tone just too wild for you and it just turned you off? But for me, I don't know. I'm eating good. I'm happy with this. BioWare, if you happen to randomly see this video, 2 thumbs up coming from Micah's Let's Play. I'm so here for this. And then, understanding all the material leading into this game and the 10 years we waited. I really do hope it was worth it, again, because I don't know what the game is like because I haven't played it, but we will be getting, news from IGN and everything. And speaking of which, matter of fact, I'm going to have to turn you off, baby boy. I'm so sorry, daddy. But here, Rook, and just look at these beautiful bitches. Excuse me, they're not bitches, but just look at these girls. And that includes you as Rook. Again, I just so appreciate seeing you. Rook is a black protagonist. His default state is black. And then again, this is why I think, going back to what I said about Bellara, I'm so sorry I'm jumping all over the place, but this is why I think she can do fade magic. She might be a mage herself, but she uses her magic through this, and it might be fueled by blood. her blood might be fueling her to get inside. But then again, blood magic actually stops you from getting in the Veil. I don't know, but I'm just interested. I'm curious about her mechanics. Okay, guys, I realized the screen record I was using, it told me it got full, so I had to stop. So I just have some cool artwork up on screen for you guys to enjoy. But yeah, so Game Insider is actually going to be doing their own exclusive interview. So BioWare brought them out to take a closer look at it, as well as we have people who are playtesting it as well, to like give their honest opinion on how they felt about the game. And I'm really just excited about it personally. You know, as a longtime Dragon Age fan, though I am newer than most, I'm just really excited to see what this game is going to do and where it's going to go and how we're going to experience this story. So as I was saying, you know, what do you guys think? Do you see where I'm coming from with the Veilguard? Might be potentially a sacrifice, you know, a kamikaze mission, or, you know, what is it that you guys think about this? I want to know your thoughts and feelings. Who are you choosing to romance in this game? Is it Scout Harding? Is it Lucanis? Is it one of my top choices, which is Davrin, as well as Neeve, you know, or is it Harley Quinn? Are you going to be romancing her? You know, so, and I'm also curious to see if we might get other advisory members outside of Varric, kind of like what we did in Inquisition. Will we have more people to interact with as well, maybe more other romance options, although I think I'm good with what we have. But I'm just saying, like, you know, and will we run into Mayveris, which is you know, the friend of Dorian? You know, I'm so sorry, like I said, today is a bad hair day. My hair is just not agreeing with me, you know. So so I'm very curious to see, you know, what your thoughts are, because I really want to know. So if you're watching this, leave me your comments, your opinion. Even if you're just like, this is just hot garbage, I really want to know. But I also want to know why you think this. Why are your thoughts and feelings in this direction? What made you feel like this wasn't good, you know, after watching my analysis, or maybe someone else's analysis? Really, I want to know what you're thinking. And if you like this, like me, what makes you like it? What makes it stand out to you? What vibes were you getting with this, you know, as well? So with all that said, I want to personally thank each and every one of you for watching this very long, deep analysis that's basically over an hour long. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, and leave me a comment in the comment section down below, so you're always notified when I am, well, leave a comment so I can know what you're thinking, but hit the notification bell so you're always notified when I'm making more content like this in the future. Remember to live, think, and dream big. Choose love over fear, and if you do, more love will come to you. But anywho, I'm gonna wrap this video up because I have more video work to do, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. But until then, bye.